guys! So, it is wrapping up a little over my first month at my internship in Virginia. So, thank you everybody that's been sending me letters, sending me emails. I deeply appreciate it. And anybody that wants to can find my address and send me stuff. It is deeply appreciated and a lot of fun. So, thank you so much. I've been having an amazing week. This past week I was on Rabbit, so I missed a weekend video. So last week I was on rabbits, and so I'm gonna take some footage of our rabbits and show you all what I was taking care of. And they are absolutely amazing. I definitely foresee a lot of rabbits in my future because they are so stinking cute and so much nicer than broiler chickens, okay? You just think about it. I mean, it tastes the same, or so I'm told. I've not actually eaten a lot of rabbit, so I'm kind of looking forward to that over this summer. I'm definitely gonna find some rabbit. But I was deeply enjoyed taking care of the rabbits, and so I'll take you a video and show you what I was managing while I was taking care of the rabbits. And then this past week, I was doing broiler chickens. So I was moving their shelter every day, feeding and watering them, and then a lot of different things got done this week. I got to ted hay yesterday, and so that was really fun. I got to use the tractor and do hay. I've never done a lot of hay work, and so that was a very new experience and definitely very important to learn, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. And then also this past week, I was working on building a corral at one of the new farms that they started renting here. And so that was really fun, and I'm definitely taking a lot of notes and keeping track of what I want to do when I build my infrastructure at my farm. So that was some of the highlights from this week, and I'll bring you along and show you some rabbits. So thank you guys for keeping up with me. I'm happy to have so much interest in what I've been doing. So have a good week. All right, so this is the bunny chart. So this is kind of the basis behind the record keeping system for the rabbits here at Polyface Farm. So on this chart, we have date bred. So you would put down that date and then write down the due date. And then you would have a little calendar book. And so in the calendar book, you'd write down the date they're due and when you're supposed to put the nest box in. And then you would put down the date they were born, the number at born, and then later on you'd write into the calendar when you're supposed to wean them, and then write down the number at weaning. And then at the same time you wrote down the date bred and the date due, you write down the number of the buck that you bred and the number of the doe, and then any comments you had. Usually that's like if a doe had a problem the last time she had babies, you could put it in the comments to pay attention and see if she had her babies well this time around. So this is the bunny cycle. So I got to write this down, and I'm going to take this home with me, and this can really help me out when I'm doing my rabbits someday. So you start with the doe is bred, and so 4 weeks later, so if you had a little calendar book, you'd flip forward 4 weeks from whatever day it was and write down nest boxes. So you'd put NB for number 12. And then in 5 days, you'd write down pull nest box. And so either when you went to pull the nest box at 5 days after 4 weeks, either she would have babies, and then you would fill out the number born and the date born. And then you would write down in the calendar 5 weeks later, wean those, or no, 5 weeks later, the doe's bred again. 6 weeks. 6 weeks after they're born, the babies are weaned. And so you would flip forward in the calendar and write that down. Or if she didn't have any babies when you pulled the nest box, you would breed the doe again. And then you would write in the comment section that she didn't have any babies. And if they have 2 strikes, then with nothing, like if you have a problem with your buck, or if sometimes the time of year affects it, but usually you want pretty consistent in your rabbits having their babies. So if she does have her babies, in 5 weeks, you would breed her again, and then you would write down the date forward in your calendar book that she's due on this day. And so that would be, again, just filling out this information to make sure you know the date she was bred. 4 weeks later, you would put nest boxes in. And so that helps keep everything straight when you're just working out of a small calendar booklet, which is what they do here. And then after you wean the babies, they have 6 weeks, and then it's decision day. And so they then you would decide if you want to keep them to be breeding stock or if you wanted to process them for meat. So 12 weeks, and your little babies go from being bred to being deciding if you're going to eat them or not. So bunnies are really, really fast, as you might imagine. So I'm going to go take some video of the rabbits, and I hope you all enjoy them. They are super cute.